Hello everyone and welcome to the Road to Devastation. This is a review series where we are going to look at all of the Studio Series Constructicons all the way up to Devastator. We're starting our first step on this road to destruction with the Constructicon Rampage. This is Studio Series number 37. Before we start looking at the figure, let's go ahead and take a look at him locked away in his box. So, we got nice sort of illustration CGI render of Rampage over here. Make sure everything's focused. Got Studio Series 37, Transformers Revenge of the Fallen, Constructicon Rampage. Got Transformers in nice bold letters on the side. Takara Tomy, Generations. This is ages 8+, which I don't know if I would give this to, an 8-year-old, but hey, whatever. Hasbro logo. And interestingly enough, the Decepticon symbol they have on here is a standard Decepticon symbol, not a movie Decepticon symbol. Odd. On the side, and we will see this on all of them as we go through, we have a very cool render of Devastator and a sort of symbol to symbolize him. And we have authentic Transformers. And over here we have some more renders of the toy itself. And it says big screen inspired, scale, detail, backdrop, pyramid, desert battle. And then it says this all again in multiple languages. And we got callouts for Optimus Prime, which I don't have and don't really plan on getting necessarily. And then showing the backdrop, which I have no idea if I'm going to necessarily keep or not. I haven't been keeping packaging. Then on this side, we have the same rendering as before, but a little bit more close up, so we can get a look at that very sort of crazy insectile face that a lot of the Decepticons had in the movie verse. And it says Studio Series 37, Voyager class, and then again in multiple languages. On the top, we just have something that's out of focus. There we go. Transformers Revenge of the Fallen, and just a little window to see the top of the figure, which you can barely make anything out. Bottom is nothing all that fantastic. Alright, that is enough of the box. Let's go ahead and take a look at the actual figure now. And here is Rampage looking quite menacing with his little display background thing. And I kind of dig how he looks. I thought his original design, his original toy looked pretty cool, though I never ended up getting a copy of it. But this is not too bad. I kind of wish these had a little bit more flex in them. I think the original toy had more actual, like a belt-like thing going on here, so it could bend around more. But it does the job, and I imagine it needs to be a little bit sturdier for the combined mode. Hopefully you guys are seeing everything okay. And a neat detail I noticed on the background here, it looks like it has his cast shadow on there, so that's kind of cool. So even if all of them have like the same background per se, they may all be individualized, so we'll see as we go along. For now, we're going to go ahead, set that aside so we can focus more on this dude. So articulation wise, there's not a whole lot going on here. There's a lot of bending, moving parts, but partly because of how he's designed, there's not a whole lot of what you would think of as like traditional articulation. His head is on what appears to be a ball socket joint, so you can move it around, but it's kind of positioned weird because of the neck it's on, which has a hinge at the back. But you can get some expression out of it. And you can tilt the head down so like he's looking down at the humans he's about to squishify. He actually, I think partly because of transformation, he has a butterfly joint for his arms. And then there is a simple rotation joint there. Gotta be a little careful because you got stuff sticking out. There's no real elbow joint, but he doesn't really have traditional arms, so I guess that's forgivable. But he does have jointing for the hands, basically. So like the little claws here can be positioned like that on just regular hinges. This part can actually move a little bit. I think that's mainly for transformation though. And this can open and close so you can get a nice wide grasp. Oh, and there's rotation up here. He does actually have a waist joint. I believe it's part of the transformation for his combined form, because it has a very heavy clicky ratchet. You can probably hear that. And you can make him rotate like that. And you can bend him forward. And there's nothing really going on here. You can hinge this a little bit, but that's mainly just for transformation. I kind of wish they had put a joint in here so that way you can kind of have him bent a little bit. You get a little bit of that, but I'm worried I'm going to snap the peg on this thing, which is basically a little plastic foot piece to help keep him upright. The original toy, if I remember correctly, you could put him in his sort of jackhammer form, or you could splay them out and he could be like a quadruped or something. So yeah, it's not super articulated, but he doesn't have like a traditional body, so it's kind of hard to get upset about it when, you know, he doesn't have 2 legs and even really hips to speak of. But he looks pretty darn menacing. And the paint apps on this guy are pretty impressive. There's not a whole lot of different colors, but what they do have works pretty well. Oh, there's a little pivoting joint at his neck too. Nice. So yeah, you got mainly silver paint apps with some black around the face. I wonder if that's plastic for the eyes or if that's just some red paint. And he even has some caution markings that you can see right here on the shoulders. You can see some blue here. I don't think you're really supposed to look at this guy from behind. This very much feels like this is a physical transformer that exists in the real world, so we have to make some compromises. Put that to the wall. Just look at this part. But yeah, lots of nice molded details. Kind of what you expect for a movie design. Lots of greeble everywhere. I know some people don't care for that. They feel that it's hard to see what's going on, hard to understand the design. I've never had a problem with it. I don't know if it's just because the way my brain is wired, it's easy for me to pick up on. But I've always kind of liked the movie designs, at least to a certain extent. All right, so let's go ahead and get him transformed to vehicle mode. Okay, so you're going to have to bear with me because this is my first time doing this, and hopefully I don't mess things up. I got the instructions right next to me. We're going to look at those. So we're going to take this part off. We're going to straighten the arms down and start calming all of his little hands and fingers and stuff. We're going to close things up, straighten things out. Let's see. Then we're going to rotate these parts around. You know what? I'm going to assume we're probably doing that on this side as well. We'll see if that assumption pays off for me in the future. Now we're going to... What are we doing? These instructions are just awful. So it looks like we are positioning these like that, maybe? Now we're going to bend these like so. And it does look like we were right on this, though they're making it seem like there's something that will maybe click in place or something. I'm not hearing anything really clicky. Unless we're... Oh, there we go. So these kind of go up and over a little bit. Like that. And there we go. So these parts... So this and this snap together. Like so. Okay. So we're going to have this positioned like this. And then we're going to flip them around. And then rotate. And now we're starting to get into something that looks more like a vehicle. Now we go ahead, close that up. And we're going to bring the head in, it looks like. At least a little bit. There's not a whole lot of room for this to maneuver with the way they have everything positioned. Okay. Hope everything's in focus. Let's see. Okay, we got these parts that flip up. Then I'm going to close this. I think we're almost done. Okay. So there's a peg here and a hole here, and we're going to have to somehow get those to meet. How, I am not entirely certain, because this does not look like everything would peg in that way. Okay. I'm not thrilled with how that looks. Go ahead. Get that positioned. Maybe that works. Okay. Now we're going to repeat that on the other side. Maybe. There we go. That actually sounded like it clicked in quite nicely, too. And then... Oh, before we get these in place, this part actually has a home. So, rotate it like this. Oh, I see. So there's little pegs, I don't know how easy it is to see, right there and there, which correspond to the holes there and there. So with this pointing down, I'm going to peg these in. Oh wow, and this helps sort of strengthen everything up. And there we go. And you know what? I wonder... I mean, they show it being like this. I wonder if you could somehow get those inside. Oh well, we'll leave it like that for right now. And there we go. We got him in his tractor form. So this looks pretty cool. You got nice big silver paint app here. Got black and blue for the windows, some black accents here. So you kind of shift from a sort of red with silver accents to red with black accents. That's interesting. The red here doesn't match up very well, and that bugs me a little bit, but there are worse things in the world. I like how the treads here aren't straight. They dip where, you know, you would expect them to, because gravity is a thing and they're not gonna be straight across everything. So nice little detail there. I don't know if this is a specific kind of like a specific model of, what even would this be? It's not a front end loader, but bulldozer. I don't see any like brand markings on it, and no licensing things on the box itself. But for what it is, looks pretty darn good and feels solid. Doesn't feel like it's gonna just come apart in my hand, so that's something. You have two wheels underneath the here with the treads, and they barely poke through, so those don't do much, and it doesn't feel like it's really rolling much. I got the smooth black Halloween surface here, but yeah. The front blade is stationary, which is a bit of a bummer. It would be nice if that moved some. Oh, there is supposed to be a wheel up here. Oh, that. Push that down and that brings that down. Oh, that helps a little bit with the rolling, actually. Okay. Huh. Was that in the Oh, yeah. Last bit of the instructions. Always read everything, folks. Also, you can sort of see my problem with some of the instructions. You got this, particularly in the robot part. You got dark things on dark things trying to tell you what to do with those things. Recipe for disaster. Okay, so yeah, that rolls a lot better now that that is in position. Okay, cool. Oh, looks like this connects like this. Oh, okay. There we go. Oh goodness, that feels super solid now. I'm almost worried I'm gonna not be able to get that apart later. Yee. We'll cross that bridge when we get there. But yeah, not too bad. Would be nice if this moved, and I kind of would have liked the treads to be real, but I understand why they're not. But yeah, once that wheel's down, actually, my opinion of this has changed much better. Yeah. All right. So now that we've seen his vehicle mode, let's go ahead and get him turned into his combined form. All right, so we're going to open up the treads once more. I'm going to pull his footplate out. We're going to have to disengage these things. There we go. Come on. Ah, there we go. Yeah, I had a feeling that wasn't going to be fun. Okay. Get these flipped back up. T-pose. Then close these. I'm going to bring these up like so. And we're also going to articulate these little bits up as well. Now we're going to flip these around like that. Come on. Engage that hinge right there. Come on. This makes it look like it opens a lot more than that. They are showing that there is a hinge right in here. Don't know if I believe them or not. Oh, I did not like that sound, but it's free. There we go. Okay. I don't know if that was paint stuck or what, but it is now doing that. Okay. The instructions on this are not being super clear. So now it looks like I'm... Because we were here, we are now apparently rotating this all the way around. So that way it's like this. That's interesting. Okay. Let's... I don't know if I have this right just yet, but we'll figure this out as we go. Okay. Now, what are they... Hold on a sec.
Oh, Rodimus. Rodimus 13. There's a monster waiting for you at the end of the month.
Okay, figured it out. Had to reposition things a little bit, and now I can hinge this over this way, and this over this way. And then, in theory, I should be able to position this back in place. There we go. Snaps fairly firmly in place. Okay. Okay. So, next step. We're still fiddling with the little claw things. So looks like we're basically just straightening these out, maybe? Again, the instructions are not super clear on things. Now they are showing something popping up over here. What the heck are they talking about? Oh, so it's just... Yeah, these instructions are kind of garbage. Like, I cannot tell what they were trying to tell me to do here. It looked like they were showing some sort of peg or something coming up, which that didn't make any sense because there wasn't anything like that there. Anyway, moving on. Okay, now we're going to rotate this down. And we're going to close this up, and it looks like we got a little thing to secure there. And okay, there's also pegs here that plug into somewhere here on the shoulder, it looks like. Yep. So we make sure that gets pegged and pegged, just so everything is all nice and stable. I'm going to flip this back into position. Now we're going to put these like that. I'm going to push that wheel in. Okay. Set this down. We're almost there, it looks like. This rotates up. This rotates like that. So, what is it asking me to do here? Okay. Kind of surprised it doesn't have me do anything with this right now, but maybe we'll see if it comes into play later or what. But there it is in its foot mode. Not much to look at now other than the fact that it's pretty darn big. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and get this guy back into bot mode, and then we will get my final thoughts. So far, I'd say that our road to Devastation is off to a pretty good start. There's not a whole lot to this guy posability-wise, but his transformation is pretty engaging, I think, for all his forms, and he looks pretty darn good. The main problem is just his back there and a lack of articulation. But considering all the other things he does, I think this is a solid recommendation. Even just by himself. So, yeah. Anyway, that has been a review. Thank you very much for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, all that fun YouTube stuff. Check the description below for links to my storefront where you can get official shelf space t-shirts and more. And yeah, thank you again, and I'll see you the next time you step on the road to Devastation.